4 minutes gone. Appreciate. And I'm going to be speaking with you. I mean, we're going to be having a heart-to-heart conversation, a heart-to-heart discourse. I mean, it is no news anymore, the fact that we have been on the radar, right? The world radar. If it is not the IMF talking about our impoverishment, it is the World Bank that is talking about our impoverishment. If it is not the World Bank or the IMF, it is us going outside our ways to seeking international support, looking for aids here and there. By aids, I mean assistance. We're looking for help. We are crying out and all of that, which, of course, quite a number of social observers have said that we have not cried out enough. I mean, for a country as blessed as Nigeria, mineral and human resources at our disposal, should it be heard that we would be grappling with the type of poverty, the type of hunger that we face on a daily basis. I mean, hunger and poverty in Nigeria has gone beyond mere statistics. And somebody is actually saying that. One of our own is saying that. Peter Obi has said that. I mean, not just Peter Obi now, quite a number of politicians have also come out to saying that. Now, if you don't believe what I'm saying, if you don't believe what he's saying, why don't we look into what is going on in Benue State? I mean, just recently, we've seen the deaths of over 230 something or 50 something lives lost in Benue State, which is supposedly the food basket of Nigeria. And it does seem as though economic activities in that state is having no bearing at all whatsoever. To the point where a country that is respected agriculturally as Nigeria over the years has become a shadow of itself. Can we even rely in past glory? I don't even think so, because we don't have no past glory no more. The black gold has come, I'm talking about crude oil now, and it has replaced it totally. To the point where you already know the story of palm oil, yeah? And then a certain country outside the shores of Nigeria comes to pick it from Nigeria, takes the original seedling for palm oil, or is it a kernel now, and goes to their country. Is it Turkey now? I'm trying to place the country. And they made it a huge revenue. That is dwindling in Nigeria. Ginger. We were known for ginger. Oh, good Lord of mercy. We were known for ginger, but where are we now? We are exporting ginger. What are we not exporting now? I mean, it seems to be a country that is reliant on export. We are importing rather. We seem to be a country that relies on importation more than exportation. Why? Because our exportation now has been flagged red. Because it lacks merit for consumer protection outside the shores of Nigeria. Now, the topic of discussion or discourse is revolving around the statement made by Peter Obi, the 2023 Labour Party, presidential candidate. Now, he was highlighting the harsh reality of hunger and poverty in Nigeria. Well, according to him, though, hunger and poverty are not just statistics, but a grim reality faced by millions of Nigerians daily. Now, he went on to emphasize that Nigeria is facing acute food shortages, and we are undergoing a process of multi-dimensional poverty on an unprecedented scale. Are you still sitting on your seats? Are you still slipping on a bicycle now? Recall that in a statement, Obi had once cited the United Nations data, which revealed that about 34 million Nigerians are expected to face acute food insecurity, while approximately 63% of the population, roughly 133 million people, live in multi-dimensional poverty. Now, this is attributed to incompetent leadership, according to Obi, without capacity and compassion. Those were his words. Now, this emphasizes the need for leaders who will prioritize the welfare of citizens above personal gain. I mean, to say the least, the hunger crisis in Nigeria has reached an alarming proportion. Millions of people, we are struggling to access basic necessities like food. And if you also keep it in mind that one of the cardinalities of a government is to provide food, shelter, security. And all of these need a very proactive response. It needs a waking up. It is either now or never. The World Food Program, the WFP, has reported just recently a sharp rise in food inflation, which reached 39.84% in December of 2024, and that is compared to the 33.9% recorded the previous year. So this surge in inflation has pushed the number of food insecure Nigerians from 66.2 million in early 2023 to an estimated 100 million by the first quarter of 2024. So the situation is further exacerbated by the removal of fuel subsidies, which quite a number of us Nigerians, we applauded, Mr. President. But then experts are also saying that it was a hasty declaration. But that has triggered a significant increase in transportation cost of agricultural produce, which in turn is fueling inflation. So whether it was hasty to make that announcement, that proclamation, with all of the factors of the economy triggered into motion, it has come to stay. And of course, from reports available to press, we have been cashing in and raking in millions, trillions of naira, just as the president had said, that this power isn't only in the hands of a few, so let's take it away from them and use this monies to save up for future use, as well as use this monies for infrastructural development. May not be word for word how he said it, but exactly what he meant. So states these days, in today's Nigeria, are raking in trillions of money in the name of allocation given to them. Not forgetting the fact that we had a local government autonomy, which is seemingly is a shadow of itself, because the states are still running things. I saw a report where it does seem as though the local governments, under the state supervision in terms of financial remuneration, are smiling to the bank because they're earning so much more now, and they even don't live in their local governments. I'm talking about the chairman, the officials now. They similarly don't live in their local governments no more. So they are towing the path of their forebears. Talking about the state governors who sometimes make a lodge in ABJ, with little or no concern about what the dilemma of their people is. So one of the family members, Moses, will say, where are we going? Where exactly are we going? Samuel also had said that. Where exactly is Nigeria going this time? I said it before and I'm saying it again, reiterating it for emphasis. Where are we going? It's either now or never. if you also keep in mind the fact that the Nigerian government had ordered the release of 102,000 metric tons of grain from its reserve, proposing further importation to augment any shortfall. However, that policy has not yielded the expected results, and the impact on domestic farmers has been more negative than positive. So it takes me back to what we saw on the front page of Nigerian newspapers this morning. Was it the front page now? I guess where millions of borrowed money from the World Bank has been churned, has been invested into the health sector for over five years now. And those in the health sector are saying that there is little or nothing that has been achieved with this millions and trillions of US dollars. And yet, we still have the Minister of Finance, Wale Adun. We still have the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, go round the country at every point that they have to speak about the economic gains of Nigeria. Let me give you a bit of a statistic so that we understand what we are talking about, how dire the situation is. 34 million Nigerians will face acute food insecurity. 63% of the population, that is 133 million people, live in multi-dimensional poverty. 130 million US dollars is urgently needed by the WFP to sustain its operations in Nigeria. 21% funded is the current status of Nigeria's appeal for WFP funding. 18.6 million Nigerians face acute hunger. 43.7 million experience hunger at a crisis level or worse. 1.8 million children under 5 are projected to suffer from acute malnutrition, and 910 million US dollars is required for humanitarian response plan for northeast Nigeria in just 2025. So the National Bureau of Statistics is also adding his voice in the view of reports that Nigeria's food inflation rate, although it is easing, is still remaining a grave concern. The year-on-year food inflation rate for June of 2025 stood at 21.97%, a significant drop from the peak over 40% recorded in May of 2024. However, this figure is still exceptionally high, if you ask me, especially when compared to a global average of 4.3% reported in the IMF's April 2025 World Economic Outlook. Where are we going? Now, if you've not heard reports, well, I've heard reports, and I've known someone with whom I had a conversation with just 2 days ago, and the next thing I'm hearing is slumped and died. That's just one out of maybe thousands of cases, 100 cases. That's just one out of maybe 10 cases. But you just may not know. So what is the cause of the crisis then? This food hunger crisis, what exactly is it that we're not doing rightly? Nigeria's inflation rate has been soaring. As of December of 2024, it reached 34%, a 3-decade high statistics. Armed conflict in several parts of the country, particularly northeastern Nigeria, has intensified the country's food insecurity. I mean, they talk about climate change, and the truth is, we are always very reactive when we hear climate change rather than being proactive. The only thing that I know is that the NIMET has been putting out calls, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, right? They've been putting out calls telling states about who are at high risk of flooding. Oh, you're at high risk of flooding right now. I just want you to know. And then when that flooding actually comes, we'll never wake up to its call to do the needful. But then let's not even look at NIMET and the NEMA. Let's look at what the flooding actually causes. Because it's still worsening. It is a crisis that we have in our hands. It's causing massive displacement. So those who would have been able to till the soil are displaced, not just because of insecurity, but because of flooding. Infrastructure damage, agricultural losses estimated at about, given a figure, 855,000 or so, 855,629 tons. That's what we lose. Now, when we talk about the economic instability, Nigeria's economic instability, including a weak currency and debt, has contributed to the crisis more than ever. I mean, I can go on and on. You can also recall that not long ago, the Niger State government had secured massive land and tractors to aid in the mechanization of farming in Nigeria, through funds made available by the CBN as part of efforts to ameliorate the situation. But of course, the ending of this script will be the fact that there has not been any, or maybe some, significant impact, whether it has had on farmers or an improvement in terms of availability of food within the Nigerian populace. The last that we heard was that the tractors were being imported in batches. And that was due after investigative journalism from this table went in to ask questions as advised by you listening. Yes, we did ask questions. And that's when we got to discover, oh, it's coming in batches. And then it made it to the front page of Nigerian newspapers. What is the impact of this hunger, this poverty? They say health is wealth. Now, if there's no food, how do you even have people who will live through processes of electioneering? How would you even have people to lead in the first place? The number of malnourished children could easily exceed 2.55 million if funding gaps are not closed. If conflict persists, or if there are any sort of displacement of farmers in continuum. The cost of preparing a single pot of jollof rice now has surged by an astonishing 153% since March of 2023. Right now, it has even gone to about 210% now. The crisis could actually trigger further social unrest and deepen poverty. It is either now or never. Maybe you're not feeling the brunt of this. We've had, the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations, reporting that Nigeria's food insecurity situation is exacerbated by conflict, climate change, and economic instability. Is that news? Now we know the problem. How are we solving it? The International Rescue Committee, IRC, warned that the crisis in Nigeria could worsen if funding. But nobody would tell you that all of these things that are being said are news anymore. Nobody sees it in news. So the question always would arise, what is the way forward? What exactly is the way forward? In June of 2025, the headline inflation rate eased to 22.22%. And that was relative to the May 2025 headline inflation rate of 22.97%. Food inflation rate in June of 2025 is 21.97% year on year, that is. With core inflation being or standing at 22.76% year on year. Unemployment rate 5.3% in quarter one of 2025 alone. Through sound economic policies and investment in infrastructure, only then can we indeed reach a state of economic stability. Are we addressing conflict and climate change just yet? I mean, there are some that are saying there's a need for peace building and climate resilient agriculture. But how far have we gone with that? So the big question will be, on whose table is it to solve the hunger crisis in Nigeria? Is it on the table of Mr. President? Is it on the table of the Minister of Agriculture? Is it on the table of the CBN governor? Is it on the table of the Minister of Finance? I mean, these are the key players, right? Whose table is it exactly? What can be done to support families struggling with poverty and hunger? Whether you like it or not, it is what it is, and we have come a long way out. And it does seem as though we've gotten to the place of the heights where we can't take it anymore. At some point we saw cash transfers and food assistance, providing financial support and food aid to vulnerable families. Will that help to alleviate immediate needs or the food and hunger crisis in Nigeria? Will investing in agriculture and providing support to farmers, can it really help increase food production and availability? Let's talk about the social protection programs. I mean, implementing all of those programs, such as conditional cash transfers, school feeding programs, maternal and child health services, can it help to protect vulnerable populations? Or does the answer lie within the fabrics, the ambience, the corridor of economic empowerment, where proper training and resources to help individuals start businesses and find employment can allow and lead Nigerian families to becoming self-sufficient, entrepreneurs, employers of labor? It does seem as though we don't learn from history, do we? History right there at our beck and call, yet we keep drafting policies over and over again. If there was an FSP policy, the next administration comes and says, no, let's make it QSP. No, it shouldn't even be a QSP. Let's say a food for all, FFA. It just goes by different names, same problems. We know and identified already solutions right there at our beck and call, right in front of us, but nobody is doing anything about taking a decisive move in ensuring that we got it rightly. Now, you can quote me if I'm wrong. But how much was it for a bottle of red oil the last time you bought it? That is, if you can still afford a bottle of red oil. And groundnut oil. How much was it the last time? How much is it now? Okay, they say there's been a decrease in the price of rice. What about beans? Because these are the major food that we eat these days. There is no room for variety. That's for those who even have the means to eat rice, beans, maize. If you have that, well, happy survival to you. But I can tell you for sure that there are people who scour farmlands, bushes, waiting on seasonal crops to yield fruits so they can eat and survive. And don't tell me, oh, UD, you're just talking out of the air. No, they are our neighbors. You know them. I know them. You see them. There are those who don't even have a home, shelter over their heads. You know them. I know them. Is the government working, doing its best to ensuring that this situation is indeed handled? Oh, yes. Is the work reflexive and reflected in the society? Well, I'm not sure about that. You tell me. Where exactly are we going? Where does the bulk of what we are facing in terms of hunger, in terms of poverty, in terms of this crisis? Because I feel this is the number one crisis that we face. Survival. Whose table does it end? President, Minister of Finance, CBN Governor, Minister of Agriculture? Let's get your thoughts. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you very much for this insightful program. I'm Chimeze coming from Asokoro.
Chimeze, welcome aboard. Talk to us.
The problem we have about starvation, hunger in the land rests solely on the table of Mr. President and the security chiefs. You see one thing, we should all call a spade a spade. There is a global conspiracy. Underline my word, I have to call names. There is no country Bill Gates and co visit with AIDS that survives it. We know what is happening. I have about 10 plus of land in my place, Abia State. They are well farmed. Last 2 years, these people approached me to buy their GMO. I said no. Till tomorrow, I stood my ground. Do you know that people, some of my relatives that bought them, that land is no longer fertile? I can forward you the picture. I am speaking, you can still see me on that video. You understand me? When you go and collaborate with these global economic rogues, this is my word, that make sure that the agricultural output does not reach to the society, so that you depend on them to be buying their GMO foods everywhere, to go and destroy those farms. You tell them as when to go and kill these farmers. If there's no security, that's why I said the president and the security chief should make sure that our natural farmers, these people you see that migrate, I'm in Abuja, sometimes you see them, they leave you, as they say, don't go farm, 6 months they are not back. But now most of them are here in Abuja. They tell you that they will kill them on farm. Once you don't buy food, your farmlands are not secure. And since we are importing abroad, my brother, we are our grandmothers and our grandfathers that stored food, natural ones, for the next planting season. Now we want to buy it in plastic bags, in waterproof bags. You tell me to go and plant them. If you were observant enough, last year during the Christmas period, the kind of chickens that some of the live chickens these people sold, we are so grown. You ask yourself, were these chickens, live chickens, born to the air or something like that? Our government is not looking into this. That taking away the growers, destroying farm crops with their fowls, their kettles. If you say they kill you, they chase away communities and buy this food. We know what they are doing. It's an international conspiracy. The government can handle them, looking them to the face and telling them, go with your assistance. We don't need them. Talk of fertilizer, this fertilizer that they are not of value to us. They have come with agriculture, they are coming to health. Go and mark what I have told you today. Thank you very much.
Chimeze right there, giving his thoughts on the matter. I mean, when we'll be going on a recess right now. When we do come back, it's just going to be about you and your thoughts. Where does it lie? Where does the bulk of this lie? On the table of Mr. President, or is it on the table of the Minister of Agriculture, or is it on the table of the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Economy, Wale Edun? Is it on the table of the CBN Governor? Well, Chimeze has added that even the security chiefs now should be included in this list. Where does it lie? Where does it fizzle off? Where do we channel our thoughts, our appeal, our emotions to? We'll be back.
102.3 Abuja.
This is Nigeria, where every new day brings a fresh chance to dream bigger, push harder, and live confidently. But true confidence is more than hope. It's knowing that no matter where you are, no matter who you are, you're protected, empowered, and ready for the journey ahead. At Sanlam Alliance, we believe confidence isn't just for a few, it's the right of everyone. That's why we have come together, uniting the strength of a Pan-African giant and a global leader to give you the financial protection and solutions you need to succeed. Because when we come together, we protect more, we achieve more, and we all rise together. Sanlam and Alliance is now Sanlam Alliance. Sanlam Alliance. Live with confidence.
Alo?
Musa?
Na je shagon ya ce duk farashin ɗaya ne a ko'ina sai dai mu je.
Kwantar da hankalinka mana. Wai, sauran me kake yi ne? Na san baka da lokacin magana a wayarka ne. Shi yasa kake sauri ko?
Ire-iren su Musa ne, silar MTN gabatar muku da tsarin beta gist. A duk maganar mintoci 6 da aka yi, MTN za ta yi muku ƙarin mintoci 3 domin ci gaba da magana. Domin shiga MTN beta gist, a kira *123*2*1# ko a rubuta BG a aika zuwa 312. Kai tsaye a fara more tsarin. Yawan magana da aka yi, yawan ƙarin da MTN za su yi ma. Akwai sharuda da ka'idoji.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah. That one my own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Hey! Join Media Coalition and Awareness to hold trafficking, MICAS, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAS and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
Back, and we're still looking at hunger and poverty in Nigeria beyond mere statistics. Peter Obi has added his voice to it, and of course we've seen the United Nations, the World Bank talking decisively about Nigeria's hunger crisis and telling us the limits that it will get to and the chaos that it might cause in the near future. Well, you might as well tell me where you feel that the bulk of this discourse rests, and let's find a future for Nigeria, because a hungry man, they say, is an angry man, and we do not want to see a Nigeria with angry people. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Udo.
Yes, good morning to you, please. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Mr. Blaze. Talking to you. Calling to you, Airport Road, Abuja.
Mr. Blaze, welcome aboard. Talk to us.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Udo,
yeah.
Personally, I would blame this on the security agency.
Okay.
Which, if we are blaming the security work hand in hand with the federal government, whoever is controlling them. Now, I'm not going that far. I'm saying it right in Abuja here, where personally myself, I use 100 by 100 plot of land and I planted cassava there. Do you know that those herdsmen came and we're removing it, dropping it for their cows? If you want, I'll send the video to you. My farm.
Well, let me ask you a question. They keep saying that there are differences between the armed headsmen and headsmen. Which one are you saying?
No, this one is not the armed ones.
Okay.
Those ones take going with their cattle.
Yes.
Yeah, you understand.
So you said they were removing it.
They're removing it from down, uprooting it and dropping it for their cow. for them to eat.
And you have
I'm just saying,
you have the proof. You have the video. I'd like to see that.
I have a video,
Okay.
and one thing there is, I have a young family. These are not people, because these are the same persons. Maybe you attack them, they come back at night. Even the chief of the area, I don't want to call the chief's name and all those and to know this thing, but you go to report to him. We say, please avoid doing things that even these Fulani herdsmen, these cattle rearers will eat as well. So what can cattle not eat? You understand? Now, yesterday I speak with a friend who left Abuja here that he goes to Kogi to go and farm. At night, this man called me that he is in the farm guiding these people. You are sitting at night, in the night, that these people will come at night with their cow to come and eat your food. Now, personally, I might say that even if government, you don't give me a job, I can go to farm as a man and feed for my family. But where you do this, a lot of persons are discouraged. What is happening in Benue is just that you might just feed their babies, so they are exaggerating it. But it is happening. We hear a lot of persons who found they will not even go there. So the security, do you know that a person took these guys into to police somewhere in Abuja here, and every night those guys, they will release them to come back to their houses. They go back, and it was probably busting. They will say, we cannot sleep in a cell. They go there, the police release them that night, they come back and sleep in their house. The next morning they go there and report. So who are we fooling? So now you say something, a hungry man is an angry man. I get hungry now and we all kill ourselves. So the security agent and the government, they know what is happening. Because some person might decide not, okay, I'm not looking for the white collar job. What you know is you can't see it. It's hard. Somebody yesterday told me that he sent a message to a friend I was standing with that want the recruitment they are doing. Send 4 million for me to give you immigration job. If you have 4 million, won't you start a job? Start a business. So you understand. So we're just fooling ourselves. We know where those things are coming. A lot of person wants to work, but those people they feel we can't do it. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate Blaze. That was a chilling revelation right there. But yeah, this is also boiling down to the same and one thing that we are talking about on here. Well, you want to add your voice very quickly in the discourse, you can get across to the WhatsApp portal and just send a message, a very short and straight to the point message, and leave it on the number 0909 705 4450, or you put a call through 0908 766 8888 or 0907 353 0044. You know, something I just saw right now, and I'm just going to break the news to you as quickly as I could, because it is one way or the other part of the discourse today. The place of corruption and mismanagement, the place of favoritism, so to speak, the place of misplaced priority, as just recently, just right now, if not 9 minutes ago, where the federal government has ordered the reduction of the no-fly ban imposed on Fuji icon Kwan Wan to 1 month, and the restoration of the licenses of the pilot and co-pilot involved in the ValueJet airline incident. Now, it's not just about reducing it. Now, it does seem as though Kwan Wan bags federal government appointment hours after NCAA petition to IGP. So the federal government is announcing the Fuji music star, you know, as number one, as an ambassador for airport security protocol. Is this a punishment or what? Now it boils down to the same conversation we have. Are we saying we do not know what is wrong with us, or are we just blinded, so to speak? Even the bats, as it stands, they still have sight at night. Where exactly are we? Where are we going? If right in front of our faces, one who's under investigation is having appointments, reduction of an earlier injunction, where are we getting it wrongly or rightly? Are we really moving? Because if you look at it, corruption and mismanagement, can undermine the effectiveness of poverty reduction efforts and reduce the impact of investment in agriculture and social protection programs. Who's going to come invest in Nigeria when we are faced with all of these squabbles here and there? And, the funny thing is, the international community or members of the international community as well as the diaspora will look from outside the shores of Nigeria and they get to see what exactly is going on and they laugh. And yet we are still here. What happened to Nigeria First policy? Oh, it's just dying a natural death. Nigeria First policy, and yet we embrace international communities telling us that, well, it's gone beyond giving us loans and aids now. It has come to the point where they are now telling us that, oh no, our soils are not producing the right crops. Let us help you and engineer it. And I can tell you for a fact, based on credible information, that those of you who had gotten those aids, your farmlands are in jeopardy. Because if you don't continue to collect what international crop or the improved seedling that they import on that same farm, it's over. It's over. I'm telling you incredible information, all right? So it's over, and yet it goes to corroborate what Chimezie actually mentioned. But how can we open our eyes and for some favor or incentive or the other, allow ourselves to be bamboozled into signing deals, treaties, that is not solely for the growth and development of our people? It's high time with that. We got to redress, change our ways, and begin to focus on the things that matter to us. If we're talking Nigeria First policy, shouldn't it be us even exporting our seedlings and saying, "Oh, we've got, we got successes here. Let's send it out to you there." Well, let's get a conclusion to the matter because time is not even on our side now. I see your call still coming through, but you can follow this discourse. It's a very, very important discourse. It is one at the behest of my heart, and it should be yours too, your concern, because years from now, 5 years, 10 years from now, where would we be? Who would we be as a people, as a country? That's the question. Poverty and hunger, significant challenges facing Nigeria, far-reaching implications for the country's economic, social, political stability. And it demands urgent attention. Action from the government and other stakeholders is also very, very important at this time. And in the words of my friend and brother, and all who use the same slogan, Nigeria will get it rightly. I believe in Nigeria. You should too. Good morning.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Hello, Nigeria. Hello, Africa. Do you want to work